Hi crafty friend, it's Justine Dvorak from Stationery by Justine, where when I craft, my world stands still. Today I am making a video for Pajama Crafter Stamps. They have a brand new release that went out yesterday, and it's so exciting to see all the new things that are coming to the crafty world. But today this video is going to focus on this really fun Cheer You Up Stamps stamp set. There are 6 cheerleaders and some really great sentiments that are on there. So let's just dive right into the making. I will just preface this video by saying I will be using a fun fold on this card, but I don't have the measurements for you in this video because someone else has done it better already. And I am not one to take credit of anyone's ideas or work or anything, but this is one of those popular fun folds, and this was the first time I tried it out, and I got my measurements from a really great blog, and I will put that down in the description. So if you want to recreate this card with anything, any design, any patterned paper that you might have, you certainly can by following the measurements from that blog just like I did. But I wanted to go ahead and use that layout that is a pretty popular one, but new to me with my card here today, and make a fun cheerleading style card. So of course, I'm going to be pulling out lots of oranges and pinks and make this such a girly girl card. And I really love how fun it turns out in the end. My main focus on this card though is this little panel, and this panel is rather small. It's actually going in the inside of my card, and it's getting all of my love. So I've gone ahead and stamped out my 2 sentiments, hey girl, hey, which love that. And then you've got this, I'll be your biggest cheerleader. I'll always, sorry, my wrist was in the way. I'll always be your biggest cheerleader. So naturally, we need some cheerleaders, don't we? All right, I'm just practicing my sizing out of the stamps. Sometimes I just like to have a little scrap paper, so that's what I was doing there. I'm going to put the main girl in the middle so I can gauge the lining up the other ones on the other sides. So there she is. And then the stamp set has the cheerleaders going different directions. So you can decide where you want them. You can even stack them up and make a little pyramid. You can have some with pom-poms, like I have this gal here. You can do whatever. You can even match their clothes or hair to people or sports teams that you know of. I think that would be super sweet if you have someone in your life who loves cheerleading or loves maybe being a coach for a cheerleading squad. You certainly could make them a cheerleading card, or maybe just someone who needs a little bit of cheering up. So as you can see, because I put that middle gal in there first, the other 2 gals on the side were easy to stamp and line up because they were all lining up with the middle one. Alrighty, now I have these sweet little banners that I'm going to add to the side and just stamp on the corner. Isn't that so easy and fun? And then I'm going to decorate these kind of fun and match the uniforms. And then there's these little mega horns that will go around the sentiment. I'm going to use 3 of them. There's actually 2 different megaphones as well. So you can flip them upside down or spin them however you want. But there's one with the handle on the side and one with the handle going the other direction. So if you were being very careful and had some masking tape or paper, you could actually mask out the pom-pom on the girls that are holding the pom-pom and then replace the pom-pom with the megaphone. Interesting. Certainly could. All right, I'm using some pinks from my stash. I'm going to use Copic markers on this project today. I just got some Olos actually into my craft room, so I figured I would go ahead and practice and then go ahead and show you how I use them later on once I've given it the old Girl Scout try and know a little bit more of what I'm talking about as I use them. But as far as I can tell, They're pretty much similar to Copics, and I've been using them like that, using a dark marker and then gradually going lighter and then going back a little bit to that medium tone. But for these cheerleaders, they're super cute, and they're kind of like packed in such a cute little tiny package that they don't require a ton of crazy coloring. So if you're not the biggest colorer and you want this set, I still would encourage you to get this one because it's really small, and you could certainly color this with colored pencils, watercolor. You do not have to use alcohol markers, and you do not have to use expensive markers if that's not your jam. All right, we're going to coordinate everything, like I said. So I'm going to start with the orange, and I have the pom-poms with my dark orange and then some of the stripes on their uniform. They're just so cute, aren't they? And then the megaphones and the banner. I'm going to grab a lighter orange and just kind of blend it out. You might notice on my markers, I have that blue polka dot tape, and that blue polka dot tape is when I go and make cards with friends. Then I know that the ones that have the polka dot washi tape on them are mine, but the naughty Copic markers have the yellow tape on them. That one indicates to me to take off both caps because, there's that Minnesota accent, both caps, because at some point that marker has given me a blob on my project. So it just relieves the pressure if you take both caps off, and that is what the tape situation is all about. I figured I would mention it, so if you saw it and noticed it, now you know, and if you didn't see it, now you know as well. Basically, to help so it doesn't blob up. Now I'm going to leave the area above their eye socket. That sounds so surgical and medical, but right above the eye, where you would put eyeshadow if you're going to put eyeshadow on, that area is going to be, I'm going to leave it white, and then I'm just going to color it in and match the uniform to their makeup because it just makes sense for cheerleaders, right? I was in dance when I was really little, and I remember we had crazy stage makeup, and it was a lot. But I know that makeup is part of the whole uniform and such, so I wanted to make sure that they were styling with their cute makeup. So styling. And then you can customize the girls to be whatever you want. You can change their hair, their skin, their uniform, their pom-pom color, their shoe color. If you have a picture of someone who is a cheerleader and you're giving them a card, see if you can grab a picture of them in their uniform, and how cool would it be to match the stamp to the real life cheerleader? Isn't that fun? I think that would be so cute. And if that happens, you've got to post it on the Pajama Crafters Stamps and Friends Facebook page, which is a really great place to get inspiration for Pajama Crafter Stamps products. So definitely check that out. A lot of the design team posts on there very frequently, and it would be so great to see some people who are like customers of Pajama Crafter Stamps to also post on there what you make. It's just amazing to see what people do with the stamps and the dies, and you might get the same stamp set and you might do something totally different. And I think that is one of the cool things about crafting, is all the different options. Now I love a white gel pen, as you may or may not know, so I am going to go ahead and add polka dots to some of the areas of their uniform and highlights to the banners and the megaphone, and just put a little bit more white back into their eyes. I think I might have overcolored just a teeny bit. And then anywhere where I went out of the lines with Copic coloring, I have been going back with my white gel pen very frequently because it is easier than using the zero colorless blender. Sometimes that colorless blender actually pushes the ink away and it makes more of a mess than I would like. All right, so this stamp set not only has the cute girls, it has this really cute sentiment. I Love this. And apparently this is the illustrator's handwriting, which is even cooler. So fabulous job, Michelle. And it says, I can't read it. Something cheer up. Hope you cheer up, I think. Let's see what it says when I put it in the embossing powder. My memory is failing me. Hoping to cheer you up. And of course, I'm using white embossing powder because that is my favorite look. With colored cardstock and having a bright white sentiment, it just really pops. So I'll just heat emboss this very quickly. If you use heat embossing powder, just be sure to use an anti-static tool. I forgot and I had to go ahead and clean up my little edges here. Not the end of the world, but it's definitely way easier to use an anti-static tool right away. And then I'm going to use this random oval die from my stash that actually lives on my desk on my magnet diamond that I got from Spellbinders. It is holding all of these random little shapes. So when I have a sentiment like this that might not have a die, I can grab a fun shape and have my sentiment shine. So I did die cut that at just kind of like a wonky angle because this is going to go around the belly band of my card. Just wait till you see how fun this pattern paper is just going to pop like crazy. So this is a fun fold, like I said. And so I followed that blog post. So if you want to recreate this, please go ahead and check out that creator. I am very big on not copying others' work. And so I always want to give credit to where credit is due. So please check out that blog post and check out her measurements. But in reality, when this is all folded up, it is the size of an A2 card. So it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm pulling this patterned paper that I've had in my stash since I was a little wee lass when I used to scrapbook with my mom back in the 90s. And I thought, you know what? Today's the day. So this is my sign and your sign to use some fun patterned paper because I know that you have some fun patterned paper in your stash. Perhaps you've been hoarding it for 30 years. Perhaps you have been hoarding it for 5 years. But if it's something that you bought and you were inspired by, why not pop it out of your stash and give it a try? Now, I don't know specifically if this is from the 90s, but I definitely know that this came from my crafty area from my childhood home. So I know it was not purchased in any later than 2010. So we'll just leave it at that. So it is a little bit older, but it's still so cute. And this paisley looks stunning with the stripes. I am obsessed. Love it. Love it so much. All right, with this fun fold, I would still like to leave an area for the giver of this card, whoever it might be, to be able to write a nice message in the card still, because this awesome panel is going to go on the left side here and act as the decorating area. So I'm just matting it with a piece of cardstock, again, from my stash. Just a little bit of liquid glue, and we'll pop it on there, and then that folds up. I have one more piece of patterned paper. From what I could tell online, there was not a name for this fold besides fun fold. So that's what I'm going to name this for this video. I'm going to finish up this card with a belly band. I'm going to put the closure area on the back side so it has a clean front. So just add a little bit of liquid glue right there and we'll be good as gold. I did find out this fun fold from one of the cards that I received at Paperganza. And it was so gorgeous and I loved the layout. So then I went to the internet and found this fold, found the blog, found the measurements, and now I'm going to pass this little inspiration on to you. By the way, if you do recreate this design, I would love to see your work. So please go ahead and go over to the Pajama Crafter Stamps and friends Facebook group and show us what you made. I know that it would really be fun to see your work. Now I'm going to pop this sentiment up with foam because everything's better with foam. Put that on a t-shirt. I would wear it. And now you can slide this belly band off and open up the card like so. And then you can slide it back on. You could even go crazier and decorate more pieces of this card if that is your jam. I just chose to leave it like it is, but I really enjoyed making this. And if you have any questions about anything, let me know down in the comments and check out the blog post that tells you all the measurements if that's something that interests you. I will finish off this card with some embellishments that are from Pink and Maine. That's from the sparkly rhinestone set that it's called the Yellows. And I'm going to grab the middle color that is very, very yellow and just add a little pop of bling because this is a very girly girl card and I thought that it would be a little extra fun with some bling. And I didn't squish the rhinestones down right away, so I was able to move them with my little picker tool. Alrighty, we have finished this video, so let me know what you think about this one down in the comments. And if you liked or learned anything, please go ahead and hit the like button. It really does help out the Pajama Crafters Stamps YouTube channel, which is helping out a small business. So go ahead and check that out. And I will have the link for the stamp set that I used down in the description. So if you're interested in grabbing it, you are more than welcome to. All right, we will see you next time. Bye, crafty friend.